I'm going to talk a bit about mentoring, because mentoring is an extremely essential component of any graduate education. You can come to this conclusion simply by looking at the great mentor-mentee relationships throughout history. Plato had Socrates, Gerhard Herzberg had Max Born. Who knows what would have become of these great philosophers and scientists had they not had these relationships? Of course, not all of us can have a great mentor, a great scientist such as Einstein or Aristotle. However, I can say with confidence that in order to be successful, everyone's graduate career must involve a mentor teaching a mentee. My message to other students is that taking the initiative to develop professional relationships, whether they be lifelong or brief acquaintances, is crucial to your education. As a junior at Princeton, I had a summer chemistry internship at Howard University, which was sponsored by the National Institutes of Health. During the first few days of the internship, as I walked to the chemistry building, I noticed a separate department which was called laser chemistry. I was intrigued because I had never heard of the use of lasers in chemistry before. So I decided to, I took some initiative and went into the department to find out what was being done there. Dr. Joshua Halpern was kind enough to show me around his lab. I was really hooked immediately at the sight of these visible laser beams shooting around the room. These are, things that most people would only see in movies. So when Dr. Halpern described to me how the investigation of molecules with lasers allows us to accurately measure properties of atoms and molecules, I knew that this was the research that I wanted to pursue. He suggested that I talk to Dr. Kevin Lehman when I returned to Princeton for my junior year. So not only did I talk to Dr. Lehman when I got back to Princeton, I joined his research group as part of my junior independent work, and then I stayed on with his group to complete my senior thesis the following year. It was during the senior thesis work that I really became passionate about my research. By working in Dr. Lehman's lab, I gained the experience necessary to work on the cutting edge of science, and I was able to work independently, and really this was a time in my life when I was able to take in a lot of information and apply it in a research setting. So while I was growing up, I always wondered what lies beyond our human senses. So the work in spectroscopy that I do is about examining things that we may not be able to touch, hear, taste, or smell. When I was ready to graduate from Princeton, Dr. Lehman suggested that I contact Dr. Trevor Sears at Brookhaven National Laboratory. Being a Long Island native and growing up near Brookhaven, working at the National Lab was an ideal situation for me. At Brookhaven and at Princeton, I was doing similar projects with various different molecules, and through working closely with Dr. Sears and Dr. Lehman, I mastered a diverse set of skills necessary to complete my research. They gave me the right amount of guidance to conduct my research on my own and learn independently. When Dr. Sears put me in touch with my current advisor here at ASU, Dr. Steinley, I jumped at the chance to work with him when I heard of his work with molecular beams and laser-induced fluorescence. These experiments fascinated me from the beginning because they access the limit of detection and analysis as defined by the fundamental laws of nature. Now that I've worked in Dr. Steinley's lab for 3 years, I've proved that we can investigate the evolution of chemical reactions and obtain a wealth of accurate information about the properties of molecules involved in those reactions. My research accomplishments have resulted in 4 published articles in the Journal of Chemical Physics, one in the Journal of Molecular Spectroscopy, one of the Journal of Molecular Spectroscopy, and one in Chemical Physics Letters. And I'm also working on 2 more projects to be written up in the near future. Dr. Steinley is one of the leading experts in the field of high-resolution spectroscopy of transition metal-containing molecules. Not only is he a great scientist, he's also a great mentor. So his guidance has been also through formal education and also through informal discussions with him. I've learned a great deal about science and in particular physical chemistry. Often by insight by association occurs through these informal discussions when you're talking as a teacher-student. So through hard work and my advisor's guidance, I completed my first-year cumulative exam, passed my second-year oral exam, and now I'm a PhD candidate. The relationships that I've developed over the past few years of my undergrad and graduate education have been integral to my success as a scientist. Through motivation to complete challenging independent research and independent thought, and collaboration with experts in my field, I have had a great graduate experience and hope to have a wonderful scientific career. I must also echo my colleagues and mention the MGE program, which is the sponsor of this conference, because as minority graduate education MGE students, we are given the opportunity, as Mike said, to travel to locations around the country and present research amongst our peers. We also receive a stipend each semester to assist us in our research projects. This is a program that's sponsored by NSF, as many of you know, and it's invaluable because it impacts all aspects of our graduate careers. We have the opportunity to meet with other minority students working at the same level of research, and we have access to extra research funding, which is hard to come by, as well as all of you know. I'd also like to thank Dr. Francisco for inviting myself and the others to be part of this panel. Thank you.